Keith Olbermann, shockingly, saw the opportunity to bash a woman and weigh in here. That's his favorite thing. And he tweeted on X, whatever, posted, "Of course it was scripted. If it hadn't have been at Sage Steele, the dumbest person I've ever worked with in sports or news, couldn't have gotten through it. I mean, Jesus, if this happened to you, you'd just assume it wasn't being done to protect the network from you humiliating it and yourself." That's Keith Olbermann's thought. I will note for the record, he also, at the same, like right around the time, posted something else about Laura Ingraham, calling her a DEI hire. He loves women, Sage. Calling her a DEI hire, and then dragged yours truly into it as well, saying the irony, of course, is that Ingraham Angle, who was bashing DEI on her show, was a DEI hire by Fox after the O'Reilly scandal and the ousting of Megyn Kelly and Greta Van Susteren. I don't know what he means by ousting, but they offered me $100 million to stay. So it wasn't really an ousting.
Kind of ousting.
I just wanted to raise my children more than I wanted all that money. So once again, he's wrong on every level, but would you care to respond to the lovely former colleague of yours?
You know, I'll say this. I saw that and I just laughed. And he spends a lot of energy on me. You know, that whole phrase, rent-free, living rent-free in your head, apparently I do. And it's so funny because when I did work with him, I mean, Megyn, it was an honor at the time. Because for those of us longtime sports fans who've watched ESPN for decades, he was awesome at his job. Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick back in the late 90s, they were everything. He's so talented, yet so pathetic at this point in his life. Like, it's really, really sad. I used to not respond. I don't respond to anybody who's a race baiter or anyone who I think is unstable, and that certainly is Keith Olbermann. I think I did the other day to that. I know I did because I went and found an old video clip from when he filled in for my co-host on my show. And I was asked to go to New York because he couldn't leave his dogs overnight. So I went to him I brought my show to him instead of him bringing himself up to Bristol to me. And it was fine. I got a nice dinner on the company in New York City. But it was an honor because of the history, like how historically great he was. And I use was past tense. And I was super nice. And I was like, how are you? We chatted. He didn't get ugly with me online constantly until I started to be true to myself. And that's kind of the hypocrisy with people like Keith, is that, you know, they're great with, hey, you do you and be true to who you are and all the things and diversity and tolerance and acceptance until what? Until you don't fit their narrative. So with Keith, I don't even waste my time and energy on him because he goes crazy about me and you and many others. He is truly a miserable human being. And if nothing else, I don't even have hatred for him. I don't care. It's sad to me to watch someone decline like that and spend so much energy on people who obviously are a little bit envious of you and Laura, maybe even me, right? Because we don't care. And it is interesting that it's all women who are strong and have stood up for themselves and stayed true to who they are. The irony is not lost on me.
His ex-girlfriend, he never misses an opportunity to bash her. Yeah, and I like Laura Ingraham is truly one of the smartest women on television. I think she clerked for Justice Thomas. Like, he's talking about her. Oh, she's a DEI hire because just because she's a woman. That means she didn't deserve the job. That's what the left is criticizing the right for. You remember when the mayor of Baltimore, who happens to be black, came out. And some crazy ass people on the internet were like, he's a DEI hire just because he's black. And they rightfully got pushback from people saying, if DEI is just synonymous with black, I'm out. I'm same. I feel the same. I'm critical of DEI. It's not a synonym for black. How do we know the guy's a DEI hire? Give me some facts. It's not like, Biden saying, I'm only going to hire a black woman and then hires a black woman. That, yes, you could argue is a DEI hire. In any event, that's what Olbermann is doing. He just sees a woman in the chair, Laura Ingraham, who's brilliant, DEI hire, right? And I'm sure he thinks the same of you and me and maybe his ex-girlfriend who he's constantly suggesting is an idiot. It's just disgusting and it's completely blind.
Real quick, Megyn,
right? He's blind.
He was hired and fired 3 times just from ESPN. MSNBC,
Just from the
CNN, like every single thing he does. And I've said to my boss, like, what the hell are you doing? Why do you keep bringing someone like this back when you know that they're not there to be part of a team? So that's just ESPN. He's been fired everywhere he's been, which is why I guess he now stands on his balcony overlooking Central Park with his cell phone and does selfies. I mean, enjoying. Yep. Yes.
Oh, by the way, I forgot. He also dated Laura Ingraham. He's got don't date Keith Olbermann. Okay, that's the bottom line.
He told me about that, and we were in his little office, and she was on the screen, and he's like, "Oh, I used to date her, and whoever else." He said, "I dated her too," and I was like, "I'm leaving now." This is so gross. Ew.
It's horrifying. As we approach another critical election, many Americans are concerned. Recent studies reveal that an astonishing 56% of citizens report feelings of anxiety or dread about the upcoming election. But I want to tell you about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC is more than a senior organization. During these challenging times, they fight for common sense and for the U.S. to return to traditional American values. Visit amac.us/Megyn today to get an exclusive election year special. That's a 4-year AMAC membership for just $30. As an AMAC member, you not only enjoy money-saving benefits, but also the AMAC magazine, free Social Security and Medicare advice, a trusted voice in Washington, and a community of like-minded patriots. Take advantage of this election year special, 4 years for $30, and be part of the solution. Join now at amac.us/Megyn. That's amac.us/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.